So, yeah, risky decision. It always is risky choosing black in these Armageddons, but for Nakamura, it makes a lot of sense.
And here they are, ready for the final game in the semi-finals. This one will decide who goes to the final. It's going to be Mamedyarov or it's going to be Hikaru Nakamura. Hikaru Nakamura, with a draw, will be in the final. Mamedyarov, he has to win with the white pieces. And 5 minutes on the clock. And here we are.
Here we are, and it's all about speed. It's going to be fast. It's going to be furious. Pieces are going to fly towards the end of this game for sure. But meanwhile, Mamedyarov taking a slower approach. This is a very common tactic in Armageddon chess. You just keep as many pieces on the board and hope that your extra minute will pay off towards the end, because winning on time, winning on the clock is just as viable as winning on position. And slow start, one set of pawn spin exchange. What do you think, Ivanka?
Yeah, no, I mean, I do approve of this strategy. I mean, I've seen it done countless of times, and it was very effective. You just get a position, preferably one with an endgame, which, you know, you can maneuver, you can play a lot of moves, and it will all come down to the clock. And but we do know that Hikaru is a beast with the clock, with the mouse, and he's fantastic with pre-moves. And Shakhriyar, perhaps not as strong there.
Yeah, he did say, Shakhriyar, just in the last few months, he has come back to online chess after several years away. He's not as experienced with this thing, with the mouse, and it's all about mouse skills later on. If it gets down to 1 minute each, Nakamura will win if the position is balanced on the board. But right now, white, Mamedyarov, he's actually increased his time advantage. Look at the clock, 1 minute and 20 seconds up on the clock. And white now has the option of jumping into the centre with his knight. He takes it. Nakamura's bishops look good, but the rest of black's position a bit suspect, and he does have to retreat with his knight. It looks like a great position on the board and the clock for Mamedyarov so far.
Yeah, I agree with you there, David. I think this is really nice, especially because Hikaru has been forced to sound the retreat, and now, well, okay, it's very logical play by Mamedyarov, offering to trade off pieces. And of course, you can see that Hikaru actually keeps the bishop on. I mean, was that a wise choice to keep the bishops, or would it be simplifying the position just easier to handle, especially with the time deficit?
Yeah, I'm very surprised by Nakamura dropping back with the black bishop there. That black bishop that has just moved, he's blocked in by his own pawns. It's a bad piece. Maybe he could have taken it off and tried to survive. The reason white is better here is because white has a dominant knight in the centre of the board, anchored by a pawn. With that last move, white is preparing to line up both of his rooks on an open line. OK, also, he breaks the pin. That knight was previously paralysed. It couldn't move because that black bishop was attacking things. Now that knight heading into more promising squares. And Nakamura, he's just trying to swap things off. He's playing ultra-solid defensive mode right now.
But he had the chance to swap things off, and he refused to do that. But now he's desperately trying to do that. But, I mean, I'm just looking at the clock situation. Well, the time difference has narrowed, and Shakhriyar has to take a decision quickly, because otherwise his position will be nothing home to write about. Because remember, Hikaru has draw odds. The game must finish in a win for Shakhriyar Mamedyarov if he is to go through to the final.
And I really don't like what has happened for Mamedyarov over the last couple of moves. White's knight, the pride and joy of his position, the most beautiful piece in White's army, it's just been traded off. Black has been able to swap that piece, and now look at the clock situation as well. It's about to level itself out, and White, not only has he been forced to trade his best piece, no more time advantage. Nakamura showing why he is regarded as a speed demon. Okay, and now retreating the queen. That looks like the wrong direction for white.
Yeah, and completely the wrong direction. And things are certainly going wrong for Mamedyarov. OK, he retreats his bishop. Sorry, he attacks the pawn, bishop, and the bishop retreats. And now he's being forced to make a defensive move on the left in order to blunt the power of the black light square bishop. But, OK, Hikaru is in his element. These moves are natural. You know, now he's opening up a line. And looking at the clock situation, well, Hikaru is still lower on the clock. And that's something that Shakhriyar can actually play on. But, OK, Hikaru...
Black is winning a pawn. Black has just won a central pawn with his knight. Nakamura is in full control, and it did take him a bit of time, but he's a pawn up, not that much lower on the clock anymore, only a few seconds down. This is full retreat mode for Mamedyarov. He's messed around too much with his knight, too much with that rook there. Pawn up for Nakamura. This one is, it's getting close already. It's completely winning for Black, the position.
Yeah, it's completely slipped through his fingers. And, OK, well... Of course, the clock is definitely going to be something that Mamedyarov can hope for. So I'm expecting him just to make natural moves. He just has to keep... now he has to go into hustle mode. By hustle mode, I mean start pushing the black pieces back. Can he do this in a safe way?
It's
Probably
not easy. Black's rooks, both of them were targeting White's bishop. That White bishop had to be defended. Mamedyarov stepped forward with his rook. The only thing I can see going wrong for Nakamura is the fact that the black king is slightly exposed. Some pawns have moved in front of it, and White had a threat there. Black's rook stepping back, meanwhile. Nice blitz type of move. You protect all your pieces, that rook stepping back to a very solid square.
And again, the time difference keeps narrowing. Now, Mamedyarov is just under 2 minutes, but so has Hikaru. OK, well, this is I like this move. You know, you're going to lose anyway. Your position is worse on the board, so why not just throw everything into the air? And, OK, the position is liven up.
Yeah, we should mention... Yeah, White sacrificed a piece, and that was what you liked, Ivanka. And now, OK, White did get 2 pawns for the piece, and now he's going towards the black king. Things are slowly starting to turn. Black's king not entirely safe, White's rook super active, and that's what you need to do. You need to take risks. You need to make your opponent's position hard to play. It doesn't matter about the objective evaluation right now. Black's king looks nice and safe, protected by the bishop, but suddenly look at the dark square diagonal towards the black king. White needs to get his queen onto that diagonal, and it's almost checkmate. Nakamura still in control, still doing fine, but suddenly counter chances for Mamedyarov.
Yeah, and I agree. You know, I actually quite like Mamedyarov's position now, especially lots of practical chances. I really like this philosophy, overprotect your weaknesses, and now is it the time to go forward?
You have to try.
Yes, you do, absolutely. How are you going to do it? Are you going to do it with pawns, or are you going to perhaps do it with pieces?
I like what he's done.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. So now the white rook on the right is getting ready to maneuver itself to attack the queen. And there is now a mouse hole for the white queen to escape to if she is attacked.
Yeah, and White does step forward with his queen there. Mamedyarov, he has upped the pace over the last dozen moves. And look at the kings. White's king is safer than Black's king, temporarily at least. And often that is the deciding factor when it comes down to these mad time scrambles when both sides have 30 seconds left on the clock. Meanwhile, though, Nakamura bringing his rook across, threatening to drop that rook down and attack the white queen. And
But Mamedyarov says no way. And look how he's coordinating all his pieces. So far, there is no active threats. And now the advance finally happens. Hikaru under a lot of danger. OK, but it's...
Well, a big mistake
blunder
by Mamedyarov. He didn't realise that Black's knight was about to jump forward, attacking the white queen and threatening a fork. White had to give up a rook. So now White is down a whole rook for only 3 pawns. It's still not game over. Still some chances because Black's king is a bit open. But Nakamura, all he needs to do is trade rooks and trade queens, and the game is over. Mamedyarov, he has to hope he gets a trick in to checkmate the black king or play for time. Those are the only remaining hopes. Black is completely winning in position right now. And, OK, White pushing pawns. This is desperation from Mamedyarov. Look at his facial expressions. He knows he's losing, but it's just about setting that final trap. And he's continuing to advance his pawns. Black's bishop did grab a pawn there, but you couldn't take it because White's bishop was attacked. And Nakamura leaning back. He knows he's winning. That's his body language when he's confident. He's getting the queens off the board. He's got 40 seconds. That's enough time to win with an extra rook. Mamedyarov about to resign. There we go. Nakamura wins.
Wow. We're going to have a final with Magnus Carlsen and Hikaru Nakamura. For the first time, the American is in a final in the Meltwater Champions Chess Tour. Shakhriyar Mamedyarov gave him such a tough fight in the semi-final. He won 3 games today, but in tie breaks, it was Hikaru Nakamura who was best and is ready for the